What's going on, guys? Chris, SBT Garage, and today is like 2 days before the hurricane hits Milton, and I've been at work all day doing some evacuations. So I'm finally at the house doing some garage prepping, and we're gonna kind of get to what I'm doing, and I hope it works. And I hope I don't need it, but God forbid I do. I hope this works. So let me kind of run you through what's going on. Is I went and got this plastic sheathing from Lowe's, and the sheeting is used, I guess they lay it down on concrete, but it's super thick and watertight. It's a 6 mil. It's 100 feet long and 20 feet wide. So I cut it in two sections. Each section is the length of the driveway, which is much longer than the car. So that was my goal for that. And then it's 20 feet wide, which is, again, the parking spot is nowhere near that. So my plan is to take one of them at a time, lay it out in the garage, and pull the car up onto it and kind of create this watertight bubble for the car and give myself a little bit of protection. I was going to throw them up on jack stands and all that, but what I was worried about was it's only going to give me about a foot, foot and a half, and I'm 16 feet at elevation, and the water, the surge from it, if it's the worst, was about that. So I just wanted to get a little more protection and give myself some precautions. I don't want to lose two cars. I hope we get no water in here, but this is for 120 bucks. If I can do this and it works and make a video and help somebody in the future, then by all means. But we're going to keep going. I'm going to pause the video here, get this laid out, and get this car pulled on it, and then we'll go from there. All right, stand by. All right, guys, here's what we got so far. It's probably about 30 minutes later. I just, again, cutting it and trying to get it somewhat evenly spread. It is a lot. This is a little more time consuming than I had originally thought, but my goal is take that, drive it right up here in the middle, and then just start folding this thing like a burrito. And then in the middle, hopefully have enough, zip tie it all shut, and go from there. So car's been cooling down outside for a while. I'm gonna pull it in, let it cool down again, and then we'll start wrapping it. So stay tuned. All right, it's in. There's a lot, but car's on here. I got it pulled up. I think I have enough laid out. This is kind of the test mule for the other one, but again, I really hope I don't need this. I hope the car's gonna be cool. Got the mirrors folded in, or I gotta fold the mirrors in, I'm sorry. I got the antenna off both cars. I'm gonna back that one out here in a second. Just kind of let this thing cool down. Exhaust isn't hot, but I'm just not taking any chances. And I guess the next step of this is just kind of wrapping this thing up. And we're gonna get to that right now. All right, guys, we're done with the red car. It's not pretty by any means, but I got it as tight as I can get this thing. It's a little bulky here, but all the seams, so down here, a little bulky, but all the seams are pretty much up top, which is what I needed. And theoretically, if the water comes up, this stuff is watertight, and underneath the car, you know, you got holes going into the car, firewall and all that. So all that is covered. And then obviously the door line, where the rocker panel is, and then above it, you know, water can get in through there. So essentially all that is covered up. And then what I did was I just kind of bowed it at the top and then zip tied it shut. This stuff is super thick, could not tie it. And I might have gone too thick. Maybe the 4 mil would have been a little better. And then I just kind of was taping up where the folds were, because again, if water comes up, I didn't want it to get in the folds and then run down the material and then make a puddle inside here. So theoretically, all the seams are up top, but I was just a little precaution. I don't think that's going to be an issue. And then I came up here, and again, I just kind of was grabbing it and bowing it and making it all tight. And this is all tight with zip ties. So the unbreakable mechanism that has been used by every automotive person on the planet is a zip tie. So I have those on deck. And again, where I could just grab it and bunch it up, I did. And I think that's going to work. I really hope this is overkill. I hope this doesn't make me look crazy. I really just don't want to lose the cars. Especially this one here. I mean, I've had this thing for, 10, 11 years. And it's got a lot of sentimental. My kids grew up in it and everything else. And since I've been here in Florida, I'm originally up in the Boston area, but we haven't had anything. We've had hurricanes. We've been through a dozen hurricanes since I've lived here. But back to back like this is the first time, and then it coming literally across the state where I live. That's never happened since I've been here. So again, this is probably hopefully just a little overkill, but we'll see. I'm gonna get the other one wrapped up, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, Cobra number 2 is on the paper. What do you want to call the stuff? This took a little bit longer to get kind of rolled out and set up just because of the space. I obviously have a car sitting next to it here and the wall over there. So it took a little longer to get rolled out, but it looks like I got plenty of material on each side. And again, I hope this doesn't make me look like a nut, but I'd rather do this and come home and just have to unwrap them, and then that's it, you know what I mean? And not deal with the effects of having a foot of water in these cars that, it's just you can't go down to the car dealership and really buy these anymore, so they're hard to come by. And like I said, this one here's got some sentimental value, and this one here is, new to me. I've only had it a couple months, but it's cherry. It's, one in a, it's like a needle in a haystack finding something like this one. It's just, you guys know the story on that. But again, I really hope I just come home from work in 3 or 4 days. I might be there for 5. It just depends on how bad the storm hits. And I just cut the zip ties off and back them out and get them off this stupid paper, but I don't know, and that's kind of just where I'm at. I'd rather do it and say, hey, it was for nothing. I spent $130 on this stuff and 2 hours of my time, or I come home to, I lost, my house and my cars. The house I really can't do anything about. I got most of my stuff lifted up off the ground, but it is what it is with that. Cars, again, I just can't go down to Walmart and buy these like I can a TV or a computer and stuff like that. But we'll see how it works. But besides myself, I hope everybody else is kind of preparing and going to stay safe out there, especially in this Florida side where this thing's coming straight for us. And it is what it is. There's not much we can do at this point except for do this. And I don't get to evacuate. I have to go to work, so I have no choice. But I'm just trying to prep myself here as much as I can. So anyways, we'll get this thing wrapped up and we'll get the bow tie pictures after that. All right, we're done with this one, and I'm not proud of this one at all. This one, it was a little tougher just because, like I said before, the spacing between the cars here and then the wall there. But I did get it all up. I got everything pretty much up high. It's got this like DeLorean looking Back to the Future hump in the back. But again, I got it all up. It does look like a DeLorean wrapped up. That's funny. But they're done. I really hope I don't need this. I hope this is a huge waste of time and money. It's really what I'm hoping for, that it was silly and this thing goes a different course and doesn't hit anybody. But there's always that chance, man, and this is what it is. So this stuff, I think if I was to ever do this again, the 6 is way too thick. I mean, you can barely bunch it up, in some areas. It was just so hard to get your hands on and actually make a knot. So I think next time, or God forbid this ever has to happen again, definitely go way thinner, maybe like a 2 or 4. And because I would have liked to have got it nice and like a lot tighter and more in the center, but I think with the way it is set up with the zip ties up and down basically the whole center of the car like it is, I think it's just going to hold it together. And again, 16 feet out this way. If I was to get even like 6, 7, or even a foot of water, you know, you're talking mid-wheel. So, you know, somewhere around this area, you know, I'm hoping there's not that much water coming in here. So, but time will tell. And hopefully the video I make after this is, you know, these things are good and nothing happened. But again, guys, it's Chris with SVT Garage, and wish me luck.